string pickers, to the string picking channel here at Obscene Studios, where picking strings is what we love and what we do. Good to have you guys back today. I have a tale about a young man that started playing guitar earlier on in life, that had very little in the way of equipment and built up equipment over time. Kids come along, sold equipment, bought equipment back, sold equipment again. You know the story. These are just tools. And when your priorities are set straight and a priority comes above this, then some of it has to go. Kids are usually a priority. So once my two kids had come and they both started growing and getting out of the realm of needing as much as they were when they were babies and everything, I started getting back into purchasing music equipment. You have to understand where I live, we don't have a lot around here. Usually you got to travel 25 miles in some direction to get to anything. So the first big purchase I made, I guess, was about maybe 12 years ago now, 13, something like that, was a Line 6 Spider 4 amplifier. I loved that thing. I loved it. Absolutely. The versatility of that amplifier was amazing. I bought the FPV shortboard that, well, I guess it was a shortboard, but it was the big one. And you could plug it into the computer and you could download that Line 6 Monkey, and you could go to a website, and whoever you wanted to sound like, all you had to do was just type in the name and poof, it was there. You picked out from a list of people that submitted those tones, and whatever sounded the closest, click download, go straight to the amplifier, then you sound like whoever you want to play. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eddie Van Halen, all those guys, all of those that we all idolized as we were growing up. You could do that, and most of the time you didn't have to look far to find an exact match. I bought that amp brand new at Guitar Center in Nashville, Tennessee. For it and the pedal, I paid $500. I think the pedal was $199 and the amp was $299. So you're looking at $550-ish for that amp and pedal. It was a big purchase, especially both kids still living at home, but we had the money, everything was going, things were looking up. So I bought that amp. I wanted something that was going to be with me for a long time, that had the versatility. It wasn't tube, but it didn't care. I just wanted something I could practice to, sit in the bedroom, play, just that kind of thing, 5-year warranty on that amplifier. 5 years and 1 month, it died. I never had the volume over 3.5 to 4. Most of the time stayed around 2.5. Never did anything abusive to the amplifier. Always made sure it was clean, didn't have dust and all that going to it. Just power gone, and it was gone. I swore that day that I was not going to deal with Line 6 anymore. I was done with Line 6. If you're going to make a product and give somebody 5 years, fine. I paid $500 for amps that I've had 10 to 12 years, and I couldn't understand it. It was a Line 6 Spider 4 75 watt. All I needed, everything that I needed in that amp. The good thing that come from that is, I guess, mainly, if that amp hadn't have blew up, I wouldn't have got into collecting the amps that I have today, going different routes, going to different brands, looking for that good amp, that's cost effective, that I can use. I swore off Line 6. I said that I wouldn't. I'm done. I'm done with them. Their products, I was done. I felt that I was robbed for a while. After that, I was upset. Went back to a brand that I knew and I loved. Uh, but I was upset for a while. And then I got to thinking about it. You know, you can rent amplifiers. Then you look at the prices of those rentals and you realize $500 for 5 years wasn't a whole lot to be mad about. Maybe I'm just a cheapskate. Who knows? Uh, but it was what it was at the time. I was upset. I wanted to play music. Amp would not turn on at all. Chord had continuity. Everything looked great on that amp, and I just chucked it. I was done. I think I kept the speaker out of it or something, but I was just so mad I just chucked the whole thing. So here we are, all these years later, with a Line 6 Catalyst hooked up right next to me. This is my son's amplifier. He found this amplifier dirt cheap. He gave, I think, $175 for it off of a guy that played it like 15 minutes. It was in the box. He put it in the styrofoam back in the box. Guy said it just wasn't for him. I think he might have been a tube guy and went solid state. I don't know the deal. But here we are. I have a Line 6 in here. Now, granted, it's not mine. It is my son's. But he did bring it over for me. We're going to review it. I have played this amplifier. I like this amplifier. I do. But I want to go through some tones and some, kind of different effects that you can do with this. I've got an SM57 mic right in front of the amp. I'm about 2 inches off the cone. I may adjust that. May come out just a little bit. I'm not sure. We're going to go through some sound tests anyway. We're going to check this thing out and we're going to see what we can do and just let this thing sing to us. And who knows? I like it. I do. I really like this amp. I've played through it several times. I've just not bought one. I've seen them advertised. I've seen some reviews on them. I mean, I'm kind of late to the bandwagon, but I have my own personal opinion about Line 6 for years. And then I played this one. When my son got it, the first thing he did was come to me and say, "Hey, man, look at this deal I got." And it was a good deal for the money. I mean, the thing was brand new. I asked him if he would bring it over because I wanted to spend a little bit of time with it and I wanted to record it. And he was more than happy to oblige. So here we are, diving back into the Line 6 brand with the Catalyst. Stick around. Okay, so here we are. Overview of the amp. Didn't run the mic in. I kind of want to get the room volume to this amp so that you guys can hear what it sounds like through my camera mic. Is a pretty good mic. We'll run through the microphone here in just a minute and do a mix with that, but for now we're going to do it like this. So let's dive into this thing. Building a tone. Let's go with clean. Bass, treble, presence down some, channel volume up. Okay, and then effects. So we are going to look at delay. Turn that up a little bit so you guys can hear it. This is our delay, and I'm playing through my Washburn X series. dynamic. Okay, and you know what? I'm not going to build a tone because I'm afraid I'm going to write over something he's already done. So let's move to, let's take the reverb off. This is our modulation, and we are looking at this being coarse. Turn that down by this. And you go through different kinds. This is the pitch. Back to delay, chorus, tremolo, phaser, U-vibe, rotary. That is to adjust the intensity of it. Okay, and so we got the gist of where the effects are. You can dial those effects in here, down here, and you can do, this is a reverb. That's your reverb right there. And then of course you go through your amps up here. There's a clean. And that's your high gain. High gain is the only thing about this amp that I think that it needs is going to be a noise gate. I bought my son a noise gate just for this amp, so and then of course you have channel B, which has a lot more. You can hear that now, I'm sure. Once you put a noise gate on that, it goes away. I like it one step back, turn the gain up a little, boost it. So let's go ahead and put this thing, mic it up and put it in a mix. I neglected to mention that this thing has a wattage output on the very back of the amplifier, and it allows you to choose. Let me move this mic out of the way so I can get a good look at it. And it allows you to choose between a mute, a half watt, 30 watt, and 60 watt, 60 watt being peak power. Has an out for a jack, an out for an auxiliary in, phones, send and return effects loop, and a direct out into a USB interface or some kind of interface, but I don't think I have the XLR. String pickers, I've always heard that one bad apple ruins the barrel. I've lived my entire life like that. I don't know where I learned that from, but I remember it being said ever since I was a kid, and I guess it kind of shaped a bit of a awareness to me, because over the years, usually if I get burnt, it's only once and it doesn't happen again with whatever product, whatever thing, whatever, business, whatever. However, I think that the bad apple that I had in the Line 6 Spider 4, I think I might have overreacted with that one, because this thing, I'm not going to sit here and lie and say, oh, this is my first impressions and da because I've played this before, but I think that they're doing good. I think that they're stepping up. Now, as far as longevity, it's still out. I don't know. My son has had this amp for about a year, almost a year, maybe. I think he got it late last summer. Not sure. But he got it pretty much brand new. Guy only played it maybe, just an hour maybe at the most, and put it back in the box, and he sold it to my son for $175, I think is what he said. I'd buy that all day long for that price. I'd buy that for $250. I mean, that's let me give you an idea. When I go places, I have a Fender amp down here that's on rollers. That thing is a monstrosity to pick up and carry. And I have this little box here. The little box does good. I like the little box. It's kind of set up similar to this one with the effects and stuff. And I've got a foot switch for it. You take that and a guitar, you're good to go. Always mic it up, do EQ in the post. This is set up the same way. You could gig with this. I do. I honestly believe that you could gig with this if you're miking, or you could run right out into a PA with it. I mean, it's designed to do that. I don't understand why. I don't know. Line 6 has been around for a long time. Not really a long time, but they've been around since around 2000, 2001, 2, I think, is when the first time I ever heard about them. And I bought my Line 6 Spider 4, I think, in 2012, 2013, something like that. And I loved that amplifier, absolutely loved it. It was the best thing in the world. I could do everything with that amp. It was just amazing. I loved it. The only thing is that poof, it was just done. I checked fuses. I made sure there wasn't a problem in the cord. I checked everything. It was just done. The motherboard was gone. I was so upset at that time that I just chucked it and went out and got something else. I think that's when I first started playing the Boss Katanas, is right after the Line 6 thing. And that one lasted. I ended up selling it, or no, I think I may have traded that to my son, or I'm not sure. No, I didn't. I think he got a little orange amp that I had. But anyway, that's a long time ago. What I'm trying to say is 2 thumbs up on the Catalyst 60. I like it. It sounds good. You heard it in the mix. It sounds pretty good. Um, the delays that you get on this thing is the Tape Echo vintage delay, simple delay, dynamic, dual delay, analog delay. On your modulation side, you get chorus, tremolo, phaser, flanger, U-vibe, and rotary. On your pitch shifting, you get pitch harmony, pitch shift, growler, octave fuzz, octaver, synth string. And on your reverb, you get chamber, plate, hall, shimmer, spring, and modulated. Each one of these are customizable. Each effect is customizable within itself. And there is an online app, an online editor for this amp. That means everything these days, ladies and gentlemen, being able to customize something online with just a clicky here or there, send all of it to your amp. I have my first experience with that with the Line 6 Spider 4. I could not believe how customizable that thing was and how easy it was to do. That was part of the reason why I fell in love with it. And I know there are people out there saying, Line 6 sucks. That's the worst tone I ever had in my entire life. Well, when you looked at the Spider 2s and Spider 3s, some of those that wasn't readily available for customization, that you had to do it on the front of the amp, fine. I understand. If you're used to one amp, you're going to say bad stuff about another amp. I like tube amps. I like pedals. I like all that stuff. I do. But I also like stuff that I can customize with my computer. If I'm looking for a certain tone, I don't want to spend an hour trying to dial it in with pedals and everything else, when I can just download somebody else that took the time to that pedal or to that amplifier and then be done with it. And that's what Line 6 mastered with the Spider 4. I love the Spider 4. If you wanted to play Stevie Ray Vaughn Cold Shot. You just went there to that, typed in Cold Shot on their website that they had for user submissions. You went down the list, you touched and then picked, touched, picked, touched, picked, and then whichever one sounded the closest to Stevie Ray Vaughan's tone, download. Boom, within a second, it's on your amplifier. You can navigate it through your foot switch, put it wherever you wanted to. Same thing with any other band. If it was on there, you had it readily available. And then if you didn't, you got something close enough, but not quite on the money. You could get in there and tweak it yourself and make it yours within your amp. That's what Line 6 did that I was so in love with. It's just longevity. That was the only thing with them. And it was really a fuss that I had that at the time, maybe I shouldn't have fussed about it, because go rent an amplifier for 5 years and a month and see how much it's going to cost you. Just do that. I paid $550. I got 5 years and a month out of it. I realize now, well, I've realized for a while, especially since my son got this amp and I've toyed around with it a little bit, I think I'd rather had $500 for 5 years and a month than have to pay what it would cost rental for 5 years. So anyway, guys, this is just a little video I threw in. My son brought the amplifier over. I never done a review on this amp, so I wanted to do one and get it out there. I know there's a ton of reviews. I apologize for that. I've got things coming. Got a split coil knob for treble up here coming. Never soldered one of those in, so we're going to go through that together. Also have my son's fiance's Fender Squire. Got it here. We're going to look at it. I think she's got a scratchy tone pot. We're going to get in there, fix that, and work on it a little bit, and may shield it. I don't think we'll have to. Not much noise coming from those pickups, but we're going to tighten some stuff up and give it a spa day. I really appreciate you guys coming in. I do. I appreciate my new subscribers, the people that are commenting on my videos, especially the pickup video. That you guys are just amazing. I love to interact with people, and I think the best time to do that is when subscribers are low, so I can connect with everybody. I hope, as always, that you have the most blessed day ever. God bless you all, and I'll see you soon.